So my people, this is the latest update concerning Mr. Dele Farotimi matter from Mayego. Yes, today Dele Farotimi appeared in the court, which they adjourned the case till 20th of December 2024. So Mr. Dele Farotimi is going to be in detention till 20th of December, which means this matter is going to be long. Despite that they granted him bail with 50 million naira yesterday. Like, these people are just disgracing themselves, both local and international, because the world is seeing everything that is happening in Nigeria, and also Nigerians all over the world are protesting and also reacting concerning this matter. Like, these people never thought that this matter is going to get to this level, and this is exactly what Mr. Dele Farotimi wanted. Yes, because he knew that these people would definitely come after him, and everything Mr. Dele Farotimi wrote in this particular book that brought all this brouhaha is exactly what is happening. Like, these people are so shameless, honestly, to the extent that today they even brought thugs in order to disrupt whoever that want to protest. Can you just imagine? My people, let me allow you guys to listen and hear what Mayego said in this particular video.
We are pressing on the latest development, especially after yesterday's bail granted to Dele Farotimi. A lot of things happened in the last 24 hours. And then one of them, the height of it is that of the Ekiti Magistrate Court. Ekiti Magistrate Court. Ekiti Magistrate Judge. The one that sent Dele Farotimi to prison last week. They have done it again. This time around, he also denied Dele Farotimi bail. Remember that this whole thing is obviously a witch hunting, sort of, a witch hunting, where the powerful or the cowards who always feel like they are powerful are flexing their muscle to show to people like Dele Farotimi, who controls the levels of power in Nigeria, not the law. It is never about the law. It is always about men who consider themselves above the law. And they will tell you, we are the law. It is not what is written in that your book that really matters. It is how they interpret the content of that your law book. Unfortunately for them, it is actually helping to justify even more the book that triggered them, written by Dele Farotimi. So what happened today? There were scheduled, gathering today. So yesterday, the police IG's case of cyber stalking, cyber bullying, and harassment on behalf of Afe Babalola was heard at the Ekiti Federal High Court in Ado Ekiti. And because the matter before the court is a bailable case, it's actually meant to be a civil case, not a criminal case. But because the ruiners of Nigeria, they wanted to show to Dele Farotimi and people like Dele Farotimi that in this country, there are some of us that you dare not cross our path or challenge us. So to teach him a lesson, okay, so they decided to charge him for cyberbullying, and they called it a criminal offense. But nevertheless, Dele Farotimi was granted bail and the sum of 50 million naira. And then the surety, the like sum as well, 50 million naira, and even more. But you see, this magistrate court, there has no real law to charge Dele Farotimi for. Like, there is no crime that this magistrate court is charging Dele Farotimi for. There is no law to use in prosecuting Dele Farotimi. There is no Ekiti law that is against defamation or libel. None. But that was the beginning, where the police commissioner in Ekiti charged Dele Farotimi for defamation on behalf of Afe Babalola. So this magistrate judge adjourned the case to today, the 10th of December, just to have him locked up. So his lawyers, 3 of them, they appeared before this magistrate this morning. The whole thing didn't last an hour. Their first push was, okay, maybe you've had your satisfaction now. If you have told to make sure that he is locked in prison, great, you've had your fill. This case before you is a case that is bailable. Can we now just apply for his bail? Guess what the judge did? Okay. Let me go and think about it. I would have to adjourn this case again. They haven't started the case, the supposed defamation case. They haven't started that at all. It is practically like somebody flexing their muscle illegally. It is absolutely illegal for Dele Farotimi to be denied bail. However, he did it anyway. So this evening, we are going to start from Ekiti. There are other developments across the world on top of this matter. So we have to take it one after the other tonight. So Dele Farotimi was brought to court, even though there were also mobilized thugs. Yeah, government-sponsored thugs that were also brought to the court to come and harass and attack anyone and everyone that showed up in solidarity with Dele Farotimi. We also have that on record. But let's start with the arrival today. This time around, they didn't put him in cuffs. Fair enough. The arrival.
You listen to me. Mommy. Gotta go.
And partly also this as well.
You don't.
Very good.
Now, Dele Farotimi is now in court, and he just entered the courtroom, the magistrate court 4 and 5, Ado Ekiti. So here we are with a comrade, Kuliaja, a wise man. So, what can you say now?
Yes, we started, and Dele Farotimi is here. No more intent, and that's the beginning of the freedom and the beginning of total liberation for the justice system in Nigeria. As you can see, we have lawyers. Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Olumide Kuchika, is leading our charge, and I can bet you he's going to get a bail today and he's going to be released. And you know, there is already working on the perfection of the bail of High Court yesterday. So finally, what we just want to say is that this is the beginning of the moment to show the world that enough is enough of tyranny, enough is enough of oppression and freedom. No individual can become a god. Thank you, sir.
So we heard that Peter Obi visited Afe Babalola to go and beg him on behalf of Dele Farotimi. What can you say about that process?
The people are not interested in that. Anybody can go and negotiate with anybody.
But do you think and believe that Peter Obi can beg Afe Babalola?
Everybody has his own methodology. That's Peter Obi's methodology. But for us, we want total liberation, and there is no other.
So immediately, the court sat, and just for the record, in case if you are one of the Ronuku, watching this broadcast, this moment, okay? Dele Farotimi is a lawyer, okay? And then is represented by the men of his profession as well. In fact, there is a list of them where those who are currently standing in for Dele Farotimi, they are even doing so, like in solidarity by pro bono, which means they don't even ask to be paid. You have Adeyinka Olumide Fushika, son, Professor O.F. Emiri, son, Bamidele Bironke, son, Shegun Ololade, son, Olushola Ebisheni, Esquire, Adejure Kembi, Esquire, Bayo Ayo, Esquire, Taiwo Akinlami, Taiwo Adedeji, Wahid Adepoju, Raf Unwoke, Fumi Farotimi, Temidayo Akeredolu, Femi David Falade, Inibe Efyong, Mayowa Omojola, Oti Adeogun, Emmanuel Adeyemi, Olaide Awal Bolanta, Benjamin Akomolafe. And then you've got defendant counsels, which is the ones that are like, those ones are like the supporting stuff, right? Like you have Temidayo Akeredolu, okay, the defendant custody, what do you call it? The chamber that is defending Dele Farotimi. Dele Farotimi was kidnapped from his own chambers in Lagos by Afe Babalola's goons working in the Nigerian police. He was kidnapped because of his published book, Nigeria and its criminal judicial system, where Dele Farotimi exposed the corruption perpetuated by the likes of Afe Babalola in the Nigerian judiciary, where judgments are bought. And Afe Babalola considered this as a libelous allegations. He called it a defamation of character. Normally, Afe Babalola and his own chambers were supposed to approach the court. It's a civil case. Approach the court, sue Dele Farotimi for libel. But they didn't do that, even though they are now trying to do that now. Or not Afe Babalola himself. Okay? It is now somebody who is his partner, according to them. Right? So Afe Babalola now used the Nigerian police to kidnap Dele Farotimi from Lagos to Ekiti. Upon arriving in Ekiti, the commissioner of police in Ekiti sued Dele Farotimi for defamation on behalf of Afe Babalola, when Afe Babalola himself is a private citizen that could have sued Dele Farotimi by himself if he felt defamed. But the police took it, then decided to criminalize it. That is why we are where we are. However, there were those who stand up or who continue to stand up against this oppression, including Nigerians who are pretty much demobilized themselves. In Ekiti this morning, some of them showed up before the hired criminals, hired thugs, right, were unleashed on them. Earlier, while the hearing, the bail hearing was going on outside the court, this happened.
When I remember Walaya, water run away me eyes. Water run away me eyes. When I remember judiciary, water run away me eyes. Water run away me eyes. When I remember Nigeria, water run away me eyes. Water run away me eyes. When I remember this country, water run away me eyes. When I remember Nigeria, when I remember Nigeria, when I remember this country, what I run away me as when I remember Nigeria, what I run away me as when I remember corruption, what I run away me as when I remember bad government, what I run away me as when I remember bad people, what I run away me as
Run away me high. In solidarity. Meanwhile, outside that same court, were thugs brought to the court premises by the allegedly now, let's use allegedly, by Ekiti State government of APC. And this transpired outside their court, the magistrate court.
Government, see the bus they use and transport thugs. See bus that they use and transport thugs. I want to yeah, any show you. Ori. See thugs that all the boys see they go see what they mobilize the court. See thugs. Executive cars, not to be great thug. Shame. See DSS behind them. DSS will rather down. Can't go on revolution now. Continue what to move. DSS will rather down. Can't go on continue what to move. See DSS behind them. DSS go to my escort one. Ori. DSS go to my escort one. Ori DSS laying one. DSS will rather down. People lonely. Hello, why they want be? Come on, people lonely. Bello la go going on apa. O je bi oni shut up. Yeah. Karagba fún yín. Ori. Wo eje.
Nigeria. All of this because some people felt so, I don't know, like they felt so little or so, or their ego got so bruised, their fake reputation got exposed, shattered. And then it turned out to be, this is not a civil case for these guys. It is pure ego tripping. It is a show of power or show of shame, as some of us would like to actually acknowledge it. Also, in Lagos, the Nigerian police mobilized themselves to protect Afe Babalola's chamber in Lagos, because today was supposed to be the protest, of course, against this abuse of power. Afe Babalola is a private citizen. Dele Farotimi is a private citizen. They are both lawyers. And if they have anything against themselves, the right thing to do is to go to court. Not one who is the cradle of corruption in Nigeria judiciary. The one that has denied the people the right to justice in that contraption. Those who have made justice, like the prerequisite rights or prerogative of just the rich and the powerful, okay? And somehow, they are now flexing that muscle of corruption, oppression, suppression. The victims of oppression in Nigeria themselves, a lot of them, if you have been following the social media, especially in the last 7 days, they are like the conquered people, all right? When I say conquered people who genuinely themselves knows that they do not have any right as citizens in Nigeria. They do not have any right to free speech in Nigeria. The oppressed in Nigeria will tell you that there is a freedom of speech, but there is no freedom after speech. because the oppressors in Nigeria have told them repeatedly that if you think you have a right, it's only when we tell you that you have a right. But to those who were ready to actually really like take it up with them, especially the take it backers. Yeah. So they arrived at Afe Babalola's chambers this morning, only to meet the Nigerian policemen combat ready to protect Afe and his chambers in Lagos. Briefly.
Yes, yeah, you are all covered.
Meanwhile, what Dele Farotimi stands for is also to protect the rights of these supposed black clothing wearing crooks, impoverished, even policemen in Nigeria. They've been denied anything justice too. They are existing as the slaves, the hired guns for the crooked, powerful criminals in Nigeria. Unfortunately, however, outside Nigeria, especially at King's College in London, people still gathered, as planned, to tell the world that the man that gave you 10 million pounds as donation is a crooked member of the criminal elite in Nigeria. Somebody who has something to hide, of course. And this transpired. Let's go to London quickly too. Apologies for that audio. The audio is pretty much not on. But there is somewhere else I can take you. It is Canada, where they take it backers as well, on behalf of Dele Farotimi, submitted a human rights abuse petition against Afe Babalola in Canada to the Amnesty International. You see, all these things, you may think they do not really count per se, but they do. Especially for the guys who are using stolen money, corrupt money, blood money from Nigeria to buy these validations from all over the world. Yeah, they are the visiting, I'm a visiting guest to Harvard, visiting this, visiting professor to Oxford. I am one of the highest donor to the King's College, London. I am this, I am that. So for the record, it doesn't really matter how you see this, but for the record, the world will have the record of their criminality that they are loving to cover up. Dele Farotimi has what is called the fundamental human right, and part of that right is to express himself. And same as Afe Babalola too. Now, if Afe Babalola now feels like his own rights is being breached upon or is being defamed, the right thing to do is not to kidnap a fellow citizen, all right, and then lock him up, and then use the instrumentality of the judiciary in Nigeria to deny him freedom. So the Take It Backers submitted a petition in Canada today on behalf of the same Dele Farotimi. Let's take a look.
Shut him up, where?
Yeah, someone is coming already.
Someone's coming.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you? I'm Corey. Nice to meet you.
I'm Shady.
Hi, Shady.
I'm Rebecca. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Hello as well.
Hello.
Yes.
So, what do you have for us today?
On behalf of the Take It Back movement, Global, the Canada Directorate, and some concerned Nigerians living in Canada,
we are here to present a letter of protest. First of all, to congratulate you and commemorate today, that is the World Human Rights Day, okay? And then secondly, to submit this protest letter against human rights abuses in Nigeria. Within the letter, we have complained about several things which we know has to do with what Amnesty International is known for. So when you go through the letter, you'll be able to see some of the complaints that we have lodged in this letter to be transmitted to your appropriate quarters in Amnesty International.
Wonderful. So I could take this from you.
I'm going to need you to sign a receipt.
Oh, sure. Sure. Sorry, kind of just for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, if you'd like, you can sit.
Okay. So,
let's stand up and deliver.
It's okay.
it's something like this. Okay, this would be a speech by the Take It Back Movement, Global Canada, Directorate at Amnesty International Toronto on World Human Rights Day. Ladies and gentlemen, today, as we gather to mark the World Human Rights Day, we stand united in our commitment to uphold the fundamental rights and freedoms that every human being deserves. It is a day to celebrate the progress we have made, but also to confront the stark realities of the injustices that persist around the world. We, the Take It Back Movement Global Canada Directorate, are here to draw urgent attention to the unacceptable level of human rights abuses perpetrated by various arms of the government of Nigeria, particularly the judiciary and the police. These are institutions which should be the bastions of justice and protections, but instead they have become instruments of oppression and fear. We highlight the cases of Dele Farotimi and Nnamdi Kanu as glaring examples of these gross human rights abuses. Dele Farotimi, a vocal advocate for justice and democracy, has faced relentless persecution for his unwavering stance against corruption and tyranny. His arrest and continued harassment are not just an affront to his personal freedoms, but a chilling message to all those who dare to speak truth to power. Similarly, the case of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, underscores the extent of the Nigerian government's disregard for human rights. His abduction, unlawful detention, and the inhuman treatment he has endured are stark violations of international human rights standards. These actions are not just illegal, they are morally reprehensible. We demand the immediate and unconditional release of all political prisoners and prisoners of conscience in Nigeria. The continued detention of these individuals is a stain on Nigeria's national conscience and a violation of the principles of justice and human dignity. We commend Amnesty International for their tireless work in defending human rights worldwide. Your efforts shine a light on the darkest corners of oppression and gives hope to those who suffer in silence.
Would you like me to read this right now?
You can.
for the record, right? There are those whose actions and then moves will continue to stand the test of a time in the face of a tyranny than those who does nothing. So we now received the report. Hang on, before that, yesterday, there was this image or pictures of Peter Obi visiting the same Afe Babalola in Ekiti, which has really caused a lot of reactions. There are some foolish obedience who said, well, it is a diplomacy. Now, number one, that visit in itself is in a total bad taste. Because to start with, Afe Babalola is saying that everything that Dele Farotimi wrote in his book, that they were lies against him and his reputation, which is the reason why he collaborated with the police to kidnap him. Okay? Dele Farotimi said everything he wrote in his book is true, that if anybody feels slandered, the right thing to do is to sue him and take him to court. So the question now is this: what is diplomatic in this visit? Is it that Peter Obi went there to tell Afe Babalola, right, to forgive Dele Farotimi and forget what Dele Farotimi wrote about him and accept it as the truth? Or did he go to Afe Babalola to apologize on behalf of Dele Farotimi? That is, whatever Dele Farotimi wrote in his book is a lie. So the social media has been agog after this image, trying to give it, what interpretation can you give to that image? Is it to say that Dele Farotimi is sorry and Afe Babalola as a father should forgive him? Therefore, maybe Dele Farotimi is lying in his book. Or did he go there to tell Afe Babalola to accept the truth of Dele Farotimi? As what? So then the obedient are saying, some of you are saying that you are using diplomacy. What diplomacy? What is diplomatic about that? Some of you actually are not really different from the Ronukus. You are not different from the Ronukus in the sense that there are some of you as typical Nigerians who believes that some people are untouchable. In fact, I have seen some of you saying Peter Obi is trying to mediate so that Dele Farotimi will not go to jail. Like, are you being serious? Are you indirectly, accepting or saying that what Dele Farotimi wrote in his book is defamatory? Is that what some of you are saying in order because you want to defend Peter Obi? What exactly did Obi go and do with Afe Babalola? In a common sense thing, like in this situation that you have found yourself right now, what exactly was that visit about? Oh, I just went there to say hello to him. We did not talk about Dele Farotimi. Maybe. That's exactly not what those who are handling him are saying. They said he is trying to find a common ground. He is trying to find, what do you call it, to make peace. What kind of peace? This is supposed to be a court case, right? So it's either the two things. Afe Babalola would accept that Dele Farotimi was wrong. Happy? So which means for peace to reign, Dele Farotimi then must have lied. Or what? I mean, if he had limited his visit to when he went to see Dele Farotimi, because there's also an image of him at the correctional center where Dele Farotimi is locked up, well, that would have make a lot of sense. But visiting Afe Babalola in the heat of this whole face-off is an indirect way, as the Ronukus are already saying, that he went to go and beg Afe Babalola. Dele Farotimi said nobody should beg on his behalf, speak to these guys on his behalf. If anybody feels slighted, right? The right thing to do is to sue him. Not anyone trying to now possibly go around and say they are making peace. What kind of peace do you want to make for somebody who said they lied against him? I mean, to Afe Babalola, Dele Farotimi lied. To Dele Farotimi, no, I didn't. I told the truth. And if you feel like I lied against you, right, then sue me. Not use the police to kidnap me. So what peace is Peter Obi? What peace is Peter Obi trying to make here? So to some of you, supposed obedient, that I will probably call you the obedient. That visit is in bad taste. And there are so many of you like that in your stupidity that believes that if they didn't beg Afe Babalola, Dele Farotimi will go to jail. So that is your own way of what? Accepting the rotten, corrupt, oppressive system that these cowards are hiding behind. They are not bold enough. Afe Babalola is not bold enough to face Dele Farotimi in court. A 60, I mean 70 years old lawyer, somebody who has been practicing law for 70 years, should know every nook and cranny of the law, Abi, which simply means begging you to forgive him is not applicable. The only person that can beg Afe Babalola is Dele Farotimi. If Dele Farotimi comes out and say, okay, I'm sorry, I apologize. And do you know what that means in law? Dele Farotimi will first of all write an apology letter, which will be published in all the Nigerian dailies. And not just that, it would have to go on the same TV everywhere to say, what I wrote in my book is a lie. But they locked Dele Farotimi up. They don't want to face him in court. And they are using the same court to ensure that he will never have a chance of defending himself per se, like as he should be. So that visit is in bad taste. And the majority of you are calling it a diplomacy, diplomatic, diplokine. Anyway, we have now received the report that this guy, this Akpari, sorry to apologize to those of you who are Akparis, okay? Because that's the way I see this mofo. Now, this Akpari is now called the partner. Let's say he's the managing partner with Afe Babalola, right? So, he is now suing Dele Farotimi, right, for defamation. And according to him, he is suing Dele Farotimi for 500 million naira. Okay, not just that, he wants all the money made from the sale of that book to be given to him. This is not Afe Babalola. This Wiri was not mentioned in that book. But rather than Afe Babalola himself to actually sue Dele, he is not doing it. He has been using proxies. Because you know something? If Afe Babalola sues Dele directly, they will put Afe Babalola in the dock. Dele's defender, I mean, what do you call it? Defense lawyers. They will put Afe Babalola inside the dock and question him on some of those allegations, some of those exposés. He doesn't want to do that. That is why right now they have a case, I mean, the police IG case. They have the police commissioner case. Now they have this. This is, you see, normally, right? Normally, this is what should have been the first step and the only step. This whole thing shouldn't involve, it should not have involved the police at all. But we all know why the police is involved. Here you get. The name of this guy is Kehinde Ogunwumiju. Kehinde Ogunwumiju, on behalf of the Afe Babalola, is suing Dele Farotimi. They want the publication of the book to stop. All the bookshops that have the book must stop selling it. All the online platforms selling the book must stop selling the book. And the money made from the sale of the book, which has been donated to charity organizations helping the children with special needs, must be given to them, and 500 million naira in damages. There is another weary in Ibadan who has also sued Dele Farotimi. According to this summon, his name is Adebayo Adenipekun. Now, Adebayo Adenipekun, that one has gone to Ibadan court. Okay? I think it should be the Ibadan High Court. Okay? And according to him, they have summoned Dele Farotimi that you are hereby commanded that within 30 days of this service of this writ on you, inclusive of the day of such service, you do cause an appearance to be entered for you in an action at the suit of Adebayo Adenipekun, and take notice that in default of your doing so, the claimant may proceed therein and judgment may be given in your absence. So this one too is suing Dele Farotimi because of the book. Man, this is going to be interesting. However, the people that are suing Dele Farotimi, they are doing so in defense of Afe Babalola. And Afe himself is hiding, tucked away inside his university in Ado-Ekiti, his private university. He will never sue Dele directly. And currently, the magistrate court in Ekiti has now adjourned the ruling on whether to allow Dele Farotimi to go on bail or not. So the 28th of December. Dele Farotimi did not commit any crime. No crime known to law. He has done nothing wrong than to expose criminals who call themselves elder statesmen in that corrupt contraption. And there are ombud slaves, sophisticated morons, voluntary slaves that believes that you dare not challenge the powerful people. And majority of them have been looking for a day like this, a time and a period like this, where everyone that has been so bold to confront the criminals ruining Nigeria one way or the other spoke up many times. Majority of these lily-livered cowards, sewage dwellers, the crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the ass lickers, the voluntary slaves, right, to name but a few, they have always wanted any outspoken person against this APC, right? They've always wanted them to be locked up. And to them, Dele Farotimi is a perfect candidate that should be locked up so that they can serve as a deterrent to a lot of people that might want to try to challenge the corrupt system in Nigeria, like Dele has challenged them many times. Dele knows that he is likely not going to get justice in Nigerian courts, but in his words, he believes that not 100% of the people in the judiciary, not 100% of them is corrupt. There are still some that have been so suppressed within the rank and file of that same judiciary that will still pretty much stand by justice. So if anyone is afraid of anyone, it is actually those people who feel so powerful. But they are a bunch of cowards. Cowards who can really face a man that doesn't even have the same clout as they have. So we expect more and more, we expect more and more courts, John Dice court cases springing up from everywhere. Because that is what Dele Farotimi exposed about the gigantic, corrupt judiciary in Nigeria. There will be so many lawyers, expectedly, that will still file some stupid cases, all at least to keep him and make him busy. So he said it in the last, I said, bring it on. if they ever feel like they are slandered, don't beg anybody. Don't beg anyone. In history, we've had lawyers, human rights lawyers, that have challenged status quo. It was in this same life that late Gani Faweyimi also called F.R.A. Williams. You remember the Baba F.R.A. Williams in Elupeju? Yeah, he's dead now. He was also called a legal luminary. Yeah? But when Gani Faweyimi who called him out, he called him a criminal that has corrupted the judiciary. Guess what? F.R.A. Williams also used exact thing that this Afe Babalola is doing to put Gani Faweyimi in jail for defamation. Yeah. But when it was time for that same accusation or that allegation to actually be confronted in court, at the end of the day, it got thrown out. Right? So a lot of people that never knew about Dele Farotimi's book, they are all getting their copies now. Tens of thousands of these books, of this book, has been sold. People have bought the book, gifted a lot of people all over the world. Some are even like packaging the book as a Christmas gift for young people all over the world. Tens of thousands of the book have been sold. And guess what? A lot of people who have read the book have said, wow. So these guys are a bunch of criminals, true. So this is what they are trying to see if they can possibly bury. It is too late. It is too late now to bury anything. And if any of you have any contact of a Peter Obi, he should sit somewhere. He should sit or sit this one out. There is no peace, like let's do peace, this peace, that, except if you are actually like a slave hiding inside the obedient movement. There are some of you who are not different from the Ronukus. You are not different from the Ronu bastards. You are not different from the Bat idiots. The only thing you are using to hide is to hide behind you want a better Nigeria, a working Nigeria, in a way that, well, Obi is a gentleman. Of course he is. But if he has any advisor at all, this is now a legal matter. Dele Farotimi will never appreciate anybody going to beg Afe Babalola. He never begged him. He repeatedly said, if he knew that they would come for him, or if they were going to come for him, they should do so legally, not through this shady, corrupt police system in Nigeria. So there will be many cases that everybody is shouting defamation. It does not actually really mean that they have any reason to jail Dele Farotimi. That is why they would not want to confront him in court. Rather, they will use the same corrupt judiciary that Dele has exposed to keep him in jail. And so what? How many of you that pretend to be free today is free? How many of you that are walking about that are not locked up in jail or locked up in any prison is actually free in your own country? A lot of you are actually walking prisoners. The only difference between you and those in prison is that you are not locked up in a four-walled fence or four-walled house. You are not different from prisoners. A lot of you have become prisoners in your own country. You can't talk. You can't react. You can't protest. You can't criticize. And you still think you are free. No, you're not. No, you are not. So you should rather mourn your own loss of freedom than think that begging criminals, which is the normal thing in Nigeria. In Nigeria, when you say anything about the big man, whether the big man is wrong or right, now you go beg the big man. Yeah? It is a way to say, who be your papa? Do you know who you are talking to? How dare you say that about? I will show you. I will show you that I am this, and that. Is that not what some of you should be fighting against? Your own parents were treated like slaves in their country. Many of you are being treated like slaves right now in that contraption. But all you care about is to probably beg the oppressors so that maybe they can spare you or maybe they can forgive you. They will never forgive you. You will never be treated as citizens. And that's why the likes of Dele Farotimi They are rare. So don't mourn for him. Mourn for yourselves. Okay? When some of you who have been ass lickers, the crumb eaters, voluntary slaves to your oppressors, right? When you had a chance of confronting them, you didn't. Omoyele Show will return back to that contraption to see if he could motivate some of you. Were you not the same people that were telling us that hashtag revolution now is a treasonable offense? Were you not the same people who wanted Omoyele Show slaughtered or killed by the same oppressors that are killing you one by one? So what is new? Mourn the loss of your own freedom and let Dele Farotimi also face or fulfill his own destiny. Don't beg anybody. Begging the oppressor. Are you begging Afe Babalola only to accept that he is a criminal as exposed? Or are you saying that Dele Farotimi lied? So he should apologize.
So my people, that is it. I hope you guys heard everything Mayego said in this particular video. The truth is that Mayego will always be Mayego. So he always stands for truth. He always said it as it is. He do not even care who is involved. So sometimes we may be, uncomfortable of what he is saying. But when you look at it very well, you know that Mayego is saying nothing but the truth. So I hope you truly enjoy watching anywhere. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, share the video and give me a thumbs up. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you guys in my next update. Goodbye for now.
Welcome to Chamress News.